Today I'm going to be delving into how much imposter is getting in the way for you. How often have you thought, who am I to be doing this? Hey love, you're listening to the Mums in Biz Show and I'm Victoria. Every week I'll bring you the unvarnished version of what it means to be a mum running a brilliant business, what you need to be doing to get it to where you want it to be, and a healthy dose of how to get the heck out of your own way. Let's dive in. Well, hey there, it's Nick to Eric here, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today for the Mums in Biz Show. This is a topic that I firmly believe gets in the way for absolutely everyone at one point or another. It is the big beast called self-doubt, and it shows up as those little thoughts that pop into your mind. Who the heck am I to be doing this? Now, I want you to go ahead and drop a comment in if this has been you. Now, this looks like so many different things in your business. So let's go through some of them now so that you know how this might be showing up for and impacting you. The reason I'm doing this is we are very, very good at fooling ourselves and convincing ourselves that these things don't apply to us. I don't think that. I really value myself. I am pretty sure I don't have any problems in my business. So I want to give you some examples because this actually does show up for absolutely all of us, even the most confident amongst you. And so knowing it and looking for the little things that are triggering and being able to recognize them is really powerful for you to then be able to go and change something and shift something in your business. All right, number one, holding you back from offering your view in a meeting or a discussion because you think someone else is more qualified. Drop me a yes in the comments if you have done that. So this might look like in your corporate environment and you being in a meeting and knowing that you have a point of view. You might have a question that could redirect the conversation. You might have some suggestions to make, but there are other people in the room who might be more senior to you or more experienced in your perception than you. And so you hold back and you don't say the thing. Or it might be in a networking group or in a social group and you sit back and you are really, really quiet because you're just not sure that what you've got to say is going to be of any more value than what everybody else has got to say. This is a sign that this is something that you are having to grapple with and you want to be dealing with. Another way this might be showing up for you is you're holding back in your messaging and what you really think in your marketing because you're worried that you're going to exclude someone or put someone off. Now, this can also be about being really unclear on your ideal client, but more often than not, what I find is that this is really somebody not being confident in the value that they can deliver to a specific person and therefore wanting to work with everybody so that they don't limit their opportunity to make more sales and to grow. When you really get specific about your messaging, that is when your confidence really starts to take off because you are backing yourself, my friend. The third one I want to flag is undervaluing your services or time because you don't really think that anyone will pay more for them. So you might be not really charging a daily rate that is a good representation of what your time is actually worth. You might be making a package that is worth X amount but only charging substantially less than that, and that might be because you know it's worth that amount and you've actually reduced that because you're a bit too scared to charge that full amount. You don't think anybody will buy it, or maybe you're not even recognizing how much you could be charging for that thing. Okay. Number 4, being unable to describe the value that your clients get from working with you. Now, let me give you a hint. This is not just about what you physically do for them if you provide some kind of done-for-you service. You have a massive impact in more than one way with your clients and the people that you work with. It is so important that you start to be able to value that and recognize that. And more importantly, say it. Say the words out loud without stumbling over yourself and the value that you bring to people. Okay, that is about not letting fear hold you back in just stating this is something that I'm really, really good at. This is how I can help you. This is the results that I can help you get, or this is the outcome that I can help you achieve. The next one is feeling fear holding you back from putting yourself out there more in networking or scheduling client conversations. So this is a little bit like the first one, but this is actually even showing up in the first place. And by showing up, yes, I do mean physically, but also sometimes, you might be sitting in the back and being a wallflower in a networking event, for example. So that's not even about you sitting there going, oh, I've got so much to contribute. It never even occurs to you to contribute. You are there purely to blend in and absorb. Or maybe you're holding yourself back and you're not actually scheduling your client conversations or potential client conversations. Maybe you're not even reaching out to people. Maybe you're sitting in Facebook groups and you're kind of putting a comment here or there, but you're not actually putting forward the things that you know will help create transformation for people, or that you know will help really get that connection going that you know you need to make more client relationships happen. You might be not doing or offering something new because you don't think you can do it. So you might see a whole bunch of people in your niche doing things a certain way, and you know that you could add that into your business, but you just don't think you've got what it takes to pull off because you're not as good as they are. This is all that little self-doubt voice in the back of your mind. If any of this is resonating for you, drop a comment. Now, sometimes this is you not actually asking for the sale when you are talking to a new or prospective client, or not upselling them to something that you know that they need because you don't think they value you enough to want that. So you downsell yourself. We're not even convincing a client who is trying to downsell something. We're actually downselling them ourselves because we don't want to go for the upsell. And oftentimes the upsell is actually what they need to get the outcomes that they're looking for. And so we're doing an injustice to them as well as ourselves in letting that get in the way. And sometimes it's literally having those thoughts sitting in the back of your mind while you are doing something new, or making or having that, that debilitating fear about how could anyone ever want to listen to or work with you or follow you or collaborate with you or any of these amazing things that you can be doing in business. So are you noticing a theme here? And is there something there that resonates, that's something that you have experienced in your life? Because that is what this who the heck am I to be doing this is all about. It is self-doubt. This insidious little thought actually holds you back and impacts upon your ability to achieve your goals in your business in so many different little ways. It feels like a little thought, but actually it is this massive, massive elephant that just stops you from being able to grow. And the worst thing about it is that it undermines your confidence horribly. Now, I want to be really clear here too. I'm not talking about humility. Sometimes people take this emotion, this I'm not really good enough emotion, or I don't want to big note myself kind of feeling, and they wrap it up and package it to themselves as humility. Now, this is really dangerous, and I'm going to labor on this just a little bit to make sure you understand the difference, because when you do that, you actually inadvertently reinforce the behavior. You reinforce that thinking pattern, right? Because if I'm doing that and, not big noting myself, and people should see my value, shouldn't they anyway, you're actually ingraining the self-doubt, okay? No, so true humility comes from a place of confidence, absolute confidence. Sounds really weird, right? But it is. And I looked it up in the dictionary to make sure I knew what I was talking about here. A humble person is a person who knows their true value, who has absolute faith in their ability to create transformation, to make a difference, but they don't have arrogance or pride around that value. So the result of that is they're humble, they're open to learning at all times, okay? They're open to hearing what others have to say and to changing their perspective. It's a really empowering place to be coming from, to have humility, because it means that there is something to be gained from every interaction that you find yourself in, okay? And so that's why it's such an incredible value to have. It draws people into you because they know that they can trust that you're not just going to trample all over their ideas. You're going to listen, you're going to work with them, you're going to learn. But you're not doing that from a place of lack of confidence. You're doing that from a place of really knowing the value that you can provide, and how the two of you working together, bringing your absolute skills and strengths, can get an amazing outcome. Does that make sense? And can you hear the difference between the two, humility versus self-doubt, and how they're actually showing up for you? So how much is self-doubt showing up for you? When you go back through all of those points and the different ways that self-doubt can be showing up in your business, how many of those is you? It can be a little bit confronting to realize how often we're letting that be the way that we think, be the way that we show up. Because while it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and self-love to build your confidence, you do actually have a choice in every single situation that you find yourself in of how you're going to show up. Are you going to allow that emotion to overwhelm you and stop you from being able to be the person that you know you can be, and share the wisdom that you know you have to share, or the experience or the expertise, advice, guidance, whatever it looks like, or are you going to let that hold you back from sharing it? Now, I did do an episode last year around feel the fear and do it anyway, and how I thought that was a bit of a misnomer, but there is a little bit of an element in here. If you have that self-doubt showing up and you stand up in the meeting and you share what you've got to say anyway, then that is an example of you starting to combat self-doubt. Because what you do is you start to create all these lots of little examples where you've got a reinforcement to the belief that you do have something to offer. Now, an affirmation is really important to get this started, but you need to stack this one up with evidence. Your brain is looking for evidence as to why this self-doubt thing that we've hung on to for so long is actually not valid. Okay? So what I want to talk about is some of the things that you can be doing to create some of that evidence. So little ways that you can start to do this is to literally sit down with a notebook, do some journaling. This is a really powerful way to do it. And ask yourself some questions, and I want you to write down the answers. And they don't need to be in a business context, and they don't need to be in proper language, and they don't need to be something that you're going to share with someone. Although if you have a business coach, I highly recommend that you work through it with them. But I want you to capture absolutely everything so that you can come back to it and really notice the things that you're great at. Okay, so let's dive in. What has gone well in the last month? Now, this doesn't have to be business related. This could be as a mum, as a wife, something to do with a hobby, something in a job, with a friend, your mum, whatever. What are some of the things that have gone well this month? What are things where a situation, the outcome was great? Write them all down. And then I want you to go through and I want you to write out what you did to make that happen. And you have to be a little bit unashamed in how you do it, or shameless. I'm not sure what the right word would be to put in there, but I want you to be really bold. Remember, you're not sharing this with anyone if you don't want to. Write down everything that you did to make that happen, where you used a skill that you have, where you had a conversation, where you're really proud of the way you called something out, where you just got in and made something happen. What are all of the things that you did to contribute to that great outcome? Okay? Now I want you to go back through and look for themes, because what you're going to start to pull out from these things is, I am actually really good at difficult conversations, or I'm a great organizer. I took that situation, which was completely chaotic, maybe it was, I don't know, school council and getting organised for the fete, and it was a bit of a mess, and you managed to help everybody pull off an amazing fete for your kids' school, and the way that you did that was through amazing organisation. Or maybe in your corporate role, you have had a project that was not going so great and it wasn't on track to deliver what it needed to deliver, and you helped get it over the line. And the way that you did that was by using your incredible communication skills and your ability to bring together a group of people and help flesh out what the challenge was and how we were able to move forward. And you are really good at harnessing the different skills and expertise that different people bring to the table. Maybe that was you. It might be really simple. Example, like an issue with a friend, or helping one of your children learn to do something, and you were really patient with them and you guided them through and you helped them realize the things that they were doing well along the way, or you helped them really embrace that practice makes perfect kind of concept. I want you to be detailed, because every single thing that you identify that you did to help make that great outcome happen, even better if you've got business examples, because we're talking in a business context here, and you'll be able to relate that directly back to the value you do create to your clients. But if you're struggling with that, or that's too big of a leap of faith to be able to get yourself to there, start with life stuff, because every single one of those moments, those pieces of evidence, is you acknowledging to yourself that you are great at something and that you can help create an amazing outcome because of that thing that you are great at. Do you think you could do that for me? I want to hear from you in the comments exactly what came up for you. What was something that surprised you that you hadn't thought to sit and acknowledge as a skill or a strength? There are so many of them. And each little piece of evidence, it just accumulates, right? And it starts to help your self-confidence grow. And it diminishes that self-doubt because you've got evidence that actually the thing that little voice is telling you is not true. It's just not true, okay? Now, the reason this is really, really important is because self-doubt plays into self-worth. And sometimes we find ourselves, you're compromising too much. Side note, compromising too much is when the sacrifice that you are making just isn't worth the thing that you're getting out of it, or it's not congruent, or it doesn't align with where you want to be. And if you're really unhappy with it, then it's a compromise that's just not worth making. So you're giving away maybe your expertise in a bid to feel more worthy. Now, worthy is a whole rabbit warren that we can go down, but ultimately the question I want to ask you is, do you think that you are worthy of success? And if the answer to that question is yes, then tackling self-doubt is something that you absolutely need to do, because they're so linked together. And also tackling your self-doubt is going to enable you to take the action that you need to take to get you to the point of success, to get the success that you deserve, whatever success looks like for you in your context. Okay? So that's what I've got for you for today. It can be such a complex issue, but first off, I wanted to bring out, where is self-doubt showing up for you in your business, and are you actually recognizing it? And is that, who the heck am I to be doing this thought, holding you back way more than you thought it was going to be? And then I wanted you to walk away with the ability to start to create evidence as to why it's just not true, and what you can be doing differently tomorrow, because you now know that there are these things that you were really good at and you're not afraid to say them out loud. So you don't have to share your notebook with everybody, but I would love for you to get that little summary of the things that came out for you that you are amazing at, that you have got experience in, that you do have a massive strength in, and share it in the group. Join the Mums in Biz Tribe. The link is above this video. It's the bit.ly link /Mums in Biz Tribe. And share it in a new post and tell us what came out by doing this exercise for you. Okay? It's really powerful to learn how to say it. In fact, even better would be to go live and do it. Say the words out loud. If that's too big of a stretch, do it in front of the mirror or tell your partner, hubby, your kids, your cat, I don't mind. Say the words out loud. That's what really starts to embed it into your psyche. The mind is a very complex thing, my friend. All right, that's what I've got for you today. Now, if you are really struggling for what the next steps are in your business and you really don't know how to pull together that, what am I amazing at? Where does my experience sit? Who do I want to work with? What do I want to be doing? Then maybe you need some guidance. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoy listening to the Mums in Biz show, I would love for you to leave us a review on iTunes and be sure to post a snap of you enjoying the show on Instagram and tag me at nicole.tuerick. You can also join in the conversation with me in the Mums in Biz tribe on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Mums in Biz show.